Good evening to all of you, and thank you for joining us on 13 Plus. I'm Mary Coleman. Chances are, if you are from Tucson or have been here for a while, you remember this case. It's one that gripped the Tucson community as a suspect walked into a restaurant to shoot and kill a prominent local businessman. And nearly 14 years later, still no answers on who killed Thomas Piazza. In this week's Crime Files, we sit down with detectives to talk about any new leads in the case and why it still has Tucsonans shaken up.
In this case, it was just people having a meeting and then the violence just happened. Unique in that way, very much.
June 10th, 2010. Thomas Piazza was sitting in the lobby of the Chick-fil-A restaurant on Oracle for a Christian Business Network meeting when someone walked in, shot him in the head, and took off on a bike. At the time, these photos were released from surveillance video showing the suspect. Almost 14 years later, the suspect's identity is still unknown.
That's the hard part in this case, is that there hasn't been a lot of information coming forward. Mr. Piazza himself was rooted in the community, had been in Tucson for a significant amount of time, and had touched a variety of groups in the community.
But Tucson police detectives are still working hard to crack this case, and they remain hopeful, especially because
recently there's been information that has allowed detectives to consider persons of interest in connection with this incident through information from the community.
But there's still work to be done, and the detectives welcome any new information that can help them. In 2011, we spoke with Piazza's wife, whose plea then is still mirrored today by many in the community.
I didn't want him to be forgotten about, and I know that people have information about it, and I thought maybe now they would be willing to come forward.
There was a lot of speculation about why Piazza was targeted, but detectives tell me there's been no motive established.
At this point, and from everything that's occurred since 2010, we don't believe it was a random act. As far as areas of Mr. Piazza's life that may have caused a motive, or we haven't identified the motive, but during the investigation and background into his life, we didn't uncover anything that would lead us to believe that it was relationships or dealings with people in his personal life that put him, in a situation where somebody wanted to, kill him.
And so the plea continues, as it's just as hard now as it was 14 years ago to make sense of this killing.
I'm sure the suspect has either provided information to somebody else, or a person may have suspicions about a certain person doing this. Just based on the characteristics of what happened, there are definitely people out there that know more details and possibly even who committed this crime.
It would mean everything. If they just wanted to come forward and say, this is what happened, we don't know who, but this was why, that would even help us. And it would help my kids. Because they're going to wonder this forever.
And we will also have that story on 13 News Live at 10. But let's switch gears now. We want to bring in Chief Meteorologist Aaron Christensen. Aaron, a lot going on in the weather world, it seems.
We've got another cold night in store with this storm system moving out, our skies clearing out, so that's prompted a first alert action night for our viewers in Cochise County and primarily in the Sulphur Springs Valley area. So that does stretch through central Cochise County into southwest Graham, and this is where temperatures will be downright dangerous. as low as 28 degrees for several hours at a time. So this does cover the Agua Prieta through Naco, Bisbee, Elfrida, Wilcox corridor, and into portions of Graham and far southern Greenlee County. This is where we're expecting the lowest of low. Wilcox 28, 32 degrees tonight in the Douglas area, 33 in Tombstone, 32 Benson, 34 Bisbee, and 36 in Sierra Vista. So this does go into effect at 1 o'clock in the morning. It will continue through 8. But you don't want to have to set the alarm and get up early or anything like that. So obviously it's before you go to bed. You want to protect people and pets. They have to be indoors. Cover up those sensitive plants. Make sure those outdoor pipes are still wrapped for the season. Now in the Tucson area, we will be below normal, but by 6 degrees. So that keeps us at 44 degrees. There may be some outlying areas of the metro that dip into the upper 30s. So if you're at all concerned with freezing or near freezing temperatures, it isn't going to hurt to take those precautions anyway. 72 is what we'll rebound to tomorrow afternoon under mostly sunny skies. Even that 72 is still below normal though by 7 degrees for us, and running about 5 to 10 degrees below the norm for all of southern Arizona. Cochise County, you'll warm to the low to upper 60s. Pima County, the low to upper 70s, and upper 60s to low 70s for Santa Cruz County. But this 2-week roller coaster ride that we've been on is actually going to continue after we warm to the low 80s come Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We do see another dramatic drop off. In fact, this time next week, we'll be back in the low 60s because of this storm system we're tracking on our First Alert Future Radar. We see it kind of rolling its way down the west coast and then moving into the desert Southwest Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So yes, this does look to impact our Easter weekend. This is a very early look at what to expect. That wind picks up ahead of the storm system on Saturday, so it's going to be gusty with partly cloudy skies, still warm, 82, dropping to 77 on Easter Sunday with a 30% chance for rain. And right now, that 30% also will hold for places like Marana, Oro Valley, Benson, Tombstone, Sierra Vista. A little higher, though, far western Pima County, like Ajo and Sells, 50% chance for rain on Easter Sunday there. Of course, that could change as we get closer, so you definitely want to monitor the forecast as we get closer and closer to the holiday. Your 13 First Alert 7-day shows that big rebound to the low 80s Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Our next weather maker starts to sprinkle in a chance for rain Sunday and Monday, and potentially even into early Tuesday.
All right, Erin, thank you. And hey, while we got Erin here, let's give you a live look at some of the snow on Mount Bigelow. Things looking gorgeous out there.
It is. I was watching some flurries on the Bigelow camera earlier today. So, you know, Mother Nature not quite giving up on winter just yet.
Yes. Well, thank you very much, Erin. And Erin will have more of your forecast on 13 News Live at 10. We hope you will join us. Have a great night.